Sperm all over my desk again.
And now, back to the Big Dumb Fun Show.
If you're a band and you've got music you would like to be played on the Big Dumb Fun Show, send us an MP3 with your best radio-friendly song to info@bigdumbfunshow.com. We'll take a listen, and maybe we'll play it on the air.
Did you hear about the gay Boy Scouts? This is sweeping the nation. It was a big story a couple of years ago, or a couple of months ago, when they came out and they said, you know what's going to happen? Boy Scouts are contemplating letting gay Boy Scouts in and allowing gay Scoutmasters to be openly gay in the scouting organization. They came out with a press conference. They scheduled a press conference like Monday at 10 o'clock. The Scouts they're going to come out and say something, right?
Okay, but why wouldn't they?
Because it is a Christian organization.
Okay,
Not only is it a Christian organization, it's a private Christian membership-based organization.
Can I ask a question?
Please do.
There's no gay Christians.
So, in the Christian religion, aka the Bible, does it say anything about gays in there?
It depends on which Bible you read, because yes, the whole sodomy type thing, they kind of frown on that. So a lot of times in a lot of Christian denominations, gayness in any regard is not good.
Okay.
And that's without getting really detailed into a lot of different religions.
Then my other question is how, for the people who have the old school mentality, how are they going to keep up with the current society? How are they going to keep up with the current mentality if they don't change their own views?
They're not.
See, the Christians are like, if you want to get to heaven, you're not going to, like, a lot of people are telling the Pope, you need to be a better Pope and get with the times. Let the preachers, let them have sex. The reason why you're having all these kid-touching preachers out there is because they're bound by this vow of celibacy, and they're like, hey, Pope, why don't you get with the times and let them do that? Well, if you really cared, it wouldn't be up to the Pope to just keep with the times or whatnot. It's not like, upgrading, having the Bible on your iPhone. It's like, no, that's not the way that God wants us to happen. Now, even though we change and evolve, and it's in our minds, being gay is not that bad anymore like it used to be. We've become more accepting as a society. That doesn't mean that God's like, well, I guess if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it now. These people still say, no, no matter what, it's been 2,000 years plus.
Maybe God needs to send a few more prophets down to write some new, Testament.
Yeah.
Well,
some New Testament.
Yeah, the
New
Testament.
Hey, you gay guys, that's okay.
Tell you what is okay now. This is okay.
Now, God likes us to procreate and, for man to be plentiful, but gay people, go ahead.
Not
but
so
who
much.
are we to judge who somebody sleeps with? Whether you sleep...
As a people, we don't care. But the thing is, this is a private institution. The Boy Scouts of America, it's a private institution, and they should be able to do whatever the hell they want to do, right? And so far, they have been by excluding gays, and it has resulted in a lot of negative publicity for them, rightly so.
Well, whatever they want to do, they can do, but you're not going to be able to please people. There's another thing along gays, just going with this, is that Abercrombie Fitch said that they're not going to have clothing over the size of 10. So that, of course, caused some controversy. So, in a nutshell, Chick-fil-A did the same thing. They're against gays. Were they against gays or for gays? I can't remember. Against gays. So, I guess that goes with the whole freedom of speech thing. But no matter what you do, people are going to be pissed off.
I agree with all of those. Chick-fil-A, Boy Scouts, and Abercrombie Fitch. I think it's a private economy.
I would think you would be against the Abercrombie Fitch.
I would be
issue.
No. I'm very much for it because I just won't shop there.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, see that I'm
Go
the
ahead
same
and have
way.
a store for skinny people. I'll stay at my big and tall place.
Well,
that's not a big
I'm
deal.
the same thing. Abercrombie and Fitch, from the beginning, before they went out and said, okay, we're not going to do anything tender, I've never really even shopped there. So to me, it's not relevant. Just like the Boy Scouts. Personally, I guess unless I have a kid that's a boy and they want to go into Boy Scouts, I don't know if it's relevant. They could do whatever the heck they want to. Do I support it? Probably not, because I like gays. I believe in gays because whatever they do is their personal life and their personal thing. It's not my business.
I'm conflicted on a couple of
okay,
issues.
so the Bible doesn't say anything about being a plus size. But it does say something about homosexuality.
They did wear a lot of robes.
Yeah.
And that could hide some curves.
Here I'm looking at an article posted 4 hours ago on the Huffington Post, and in the Catholic Church there has been some responses to this policy change.
Yes.
Here reading from the Post, Bishop Paul Lovard of Arlington, Virginia, fired off a statement that lectured the Boy Scouts for caving to a political causes at the cost of moral integrity. The Scouts' history of denying gay young men the same opportunity as their heterosexual fathers and brothers, Bishop Lovard wistfully says, demonstrates principles and steadfast resolve.
Now, this is what's happening. This is kind of the result of a private economy, and that is that most Boy Scout troops are backed by a church. They're sponsored by a church, and the church will sponsor their meeting space, some campouts. For the most part, the troops will raise money themselves, but every once in a while, you need a little bit of kickback, and the churches will be there to help facilitate that. Okay. Hold on. So churches now, because of this change, now it's not really the scouting organization, but the churches that back the scouting organization. For instance, recently, of course, Gunnar mentioned the Catholic Church, the Southern Baptist Convention. Huge. I mean, this is damn near every Baptist church in the United States. Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with the American Baptist Convention. They said, no, we're not going to back any more Boy Scouts anymore if this is the way that you're going to change your policy. And so that's going to virtually wipe out more than a third of the membership of the Boy Scouts of America.
I honestly think they thought about that before they did that, but coming off of getting off of the money note and the support and who gives all that, I think this teaches people to be more accepting. I think it goes further into bullying. I think this will help kids be more accepting of other kids, and if they're gay, they won't be bullied. And I think I actually think this is a good thing, because so many
destroy the Boy Scouts.
No, not to destroy.
See, I don't think so. I loved the Boy Scouts.
I don't
See,
think
Jeff. He was like an Eagle Scout. He went about as far as you could go in the Boy Scouts.
I don't think it's
How would you
destroying
feel
it.
if you were camping and there were gay Boy Scouts there and they were openly gay?
You know what? I think I did camp with openly Boy Scouts. I just didn't care. You're all kids, so you don't care.
And that's what I'm saying is that the way that
women
life
in scouting I had a problem with.
No, but the way things are now is that there's so much bullying, and so for the Boy Scouts to open it up saying we don't care if you're gay, not gay, we're accepting of you, I think it's actually a good influence, because gays are bullied really bad in school, high school, and all that, and I think this is actually a good thing. Now, I don't think this is breaking the Boy Scouts. I just think they're taking a risk. They're coming to in the now. They're coming to what is going on today, and
they're coming out of the cabin, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, some people have such old school mentality that 20, 30 years ago.
This old school mentality is a Christian mentality, though.
I know, but
it's
sometimes
a Christian-backed mentality.
But sometimes
and the question really comes down to, in terms of whether it's a Christian mentality or you want to say a modern mentality, who's to say which is better?
No, there is nothing that's better or worse. I think we all have our own opinions and we believe whatever we want to believe. But at the end of the day, there's some things that are happening in the world that if you don't become accepting of it, you lose. Like, for example, I mean, I've had a recent friend that came out that was gay, and, her mom was like, do I support this? Do I not support this? Well, do you want a relationship with your kid? Do you not want a relationship with your kid? It's one of those things where at the end of the day...
Is that the one that went on the Mexico trip that said, can you feel down there? It's kind of hot.
No. Not
at the bachelorette party?
Not that. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, what ABC's family does up the street is none of my business. I don't really care. And so I care what happens in my family.
First of all, that's an odd last name. But second of all, I'm sad to see, if this does annihilate the Boy Scouts, I am sad to see the Boy Scouts go, because I believe it really is a great organization.
You don't think this will open up doors, though?
No, what this will do, and much like how a public, or I'm sorry, what am I trying to say? A capitalistic society should happen, is what's going to happen is the American, or the Southern Baptist Convention and the Catholics, maybe they'll get together and have their Christian Boy Scouts of America. They'll create something new.
So you don't think in the Catholic and the Southern...
They're not going to cave to this.
Excuse
me.
No. You mean to tell me that none of those people in those organizations are gay? They don't have a single gay person?
It doesn't matter. They're against it, whether they're gay or not. They're against being gay. Now, I'm sure you could find tons of scandal and tons of hypocrisy in both organizations, especially the Catholic Church. But I think what will happen, they'll create their own scouts. And the scouting, I would be sad to see the Boy Scouts annihilated or go, because I do
Well, how
believe
about the Girl Scouts? I mean, there's no girls that are lesbians?
The Girl Scouts do not take a religious stance. More tonight on the Big Dumb Fun Show.